code, I can imagine how much vulnerabilities I can find. So, strangely, on Boeing website, this is only in America you can find such things, you have the full list of the developers of every single aspect of the project, the name of the team leader, his email server, and telephone address. Now, this is if I was Russian and I wanted to steal things, I would start exactly from such servers. And this is not actual decoys servers. This is true information. We started to give lectures about this problem 1 year ago in March in Indonesia. Also in the comic book, yes. We did the second episode of our comics was talking about such trouble. July of this year, I was in Rome. I got in contact because I was called by a guy from the US Embassy. We saw several military people attending our speeching when we were talking about such troubles, because in our speech we were showing specifically some weak points of what of the information about what we found actually about such program. Anyway, this military guy, US military guy, told me, "Do you know any ring of stealers of information related to military, US military programs through attacks originating from East Europe?" And I said, "Are you talking about Russian stealing FCS stuff?" And then he became white. He said, "FCS? I don't know. What is it?" No. It's happening. And of course, if you don't have the money to fight a superpower like the United States, in the traditional way, you do it in a unconventional way, using hackers. I don't want another Cisco versus Lin and Black Hat case, so there is no name here. Shit. Where is Tim Pritlove? CCC is going to get some troubles, I guess, for this. No, well, you have to know. Did you know that Skype had, just recently they fixed it, but they had a double login issue? If you were logging in with the username and password from 2 different servers, most of the time you were capable to get the TXT information, not the voice, but the TXT chat basically mirrored on both computers that logged with your username and password. What does it mean? It means, excuse me? Feature. A very good feature. Yes. Excellent feature. In fact, maybe also you certainly know that Skype.net was owned for several months. Therefore, your feature becomes a trouble if somebody owning Skype server knows your username and password. No? Then we have we have an unresolved privilege escalation issue also. If you go on zonH.org, you have you can find an advisory, 6 months old. In the meantime, 3 new releases of Skype went out and no patches. And there is also a 0-day vulnerability, which is allowing arbitrary remote execution of code. And we know at least one case of when such vulnerability was used to compromise a server, a client of a guy working in a big company to steal information. So be careful when you're using Skype, basically. Now, what is this? A question to you guys. It's a picture, yes. It's a question mark. It's made in China. A very good statement. What is this, please? It's a network card. Question. We have a very qualified audience here. Congratulations. Question to you that you were saying that it's a network card. How do you know it's a network card? It looks like a network card. How do you know what's actually the internal functionality of this? You just trust it. The point is, we are all bitching about, fuck, Windows is not releasing the source code. Where the problem could be just under your eyes on a lower layer of the IT security. I mean, we're all bitching on the fact that we want to have open source code, beside the fact that none of you basically audited the Firefox source code. Who did it? See? No? You're just, what, one? You're just using it because you're trusting that the other guy did it, and vice versa. But do you know what's happening in the chip? No. Laws today are forbidding even you to reverse engineer such equipment. You get in trouble if you do it. You don't even have the right to know what's going on in your network card. And if I was in a possibility to develop a product to spy, definitely I would have put something inside the network card, network equipment. Try to go and look for it. You will never be able. So when you're mounting a network card, you're just trusting and hoping that it's a network card. And as long as it looks like a network card, he's happy.
So this is another question mark, I know. So what I... Shit, no, never mind. So what the point is of all this, I mean, it would take weeks just to exploit all these issues, okay? So be also patient on the fact of Skype. We are not saying the whole thing just because there was a big incident at the Black Hat this year. I don't know if you know about that, but you know, the Black Hat was sued and everything because somebody talked about the Cisco thing. So we are very careful about talking about it. Anyway, how we wanted to close is, I mean, we searched in history to find the perfect security guy, okay? And who could that be? Who could that be? Who could that be? That's him. I mean, he got the thing built, you know, all these pyramids and everything, you know, there is all these guys working. And then I didn't find the slide with people being slaughtered afterwards, but actually he killed them all afterwards. So the message is either we get a security manager or some good security people that you know, get the job done and then they kill everybody, and I mean, we just need to live with it and be patient, okay? Be really aware about what's happening, and try also to focus on the right target. Like if you are a hacker, you are doing the right thing, exploiting all this shit software that is being released to us, because I mean, every time I buy something, there is something that doesn't go well, something that doesn't work, and it can always be exploited, and that pisses me off.
And the
okay?
industry protects them. I mean, if you release a piece of, I don't know, virus, you get jailed. But if Sony does it, then it's okay.
And that's another thing, digital right management. Did you ever hear about the Sony thing? I mean, everybody did. That's a Trojan, legal Trojan, that was released by Sony Corporation, you know, just to control you. Imagine just not to let you copy your MP3 file into, you know, another computer, because I may have two computers, okay? Anyway, so just to close, this is another little thing. We were talking about Trojans, we were talking about exploitation of software, okay? So never mind the picture, but do you know that most of the institutions right now, just to do investigation, before there was the phone interception, okay? Phone interception is being done through a legal warrant, okay, of the judge, I mean in most of the democratic countries, that is being given to an operator which does or you know, allows this interception to happen, and it has a time period and it is logged and everything. Now with the internet, they invented these things which are, you know, legal Trojans, which is called injected interception. It's just, there are some companies which are focused, their business model is just to build Trojans which can be used by institutions. The only problem, what is it? I mean, if I'm being investigated, it is correct with a judge, with a warrant, that gives a warrant that I'm being intercepted. But if with a tool like this, I mean, there is no control. the warrant, to who do you give the warrant? The institution does have the way to get into your machine, exploiting the vulnerabilities of your machine, because it is vulnerable, and you will never know when it starts, when it ends, and if it is authorized, okay? And I mean, I'm very respectful of institutions, I work with institutions, but they are human beings. So it could happen also that these things are being used not for investigative purposes or for crime prevention. So that's how I wanted to close. I don't think we have time for questions, but we're going to be around for 3 days now, so you can ask whatever you want if you have questions to us in the next 2 days. Thank you very much.
I put the CD down.